Hello, everybody. Welcome. I'm Jessica Abernathy, and with me today is Trisha Montgomery, and you're listening to Pets Are Family. Welcome. Hey, Trisha, how are you doing today?
I'm very good, Jessica. How the heck are you?
Well, besides the lawnmower guy, I keep asking you if you can hear because he's like blaring in my ear that you can't hear. Other than that, I'm doing great.
I cannot hear the lawnmower guy.
What's up with the dog?
I was just playing around with Zoom and I just found this dog and I thought he looked kind of cute. And he's like, and I thought, I just wanted him by my side for today. I was kind of feeling a little lonely and I thought he could kind of help me out there with.
Blowing you kisses, or is he trying to lick you? I can't see. I'm like,
I wouldn't mind either. He's a cute dog though, so he's just gonna hang out with me for the first portion of the show today. So I thought that would be kind of fun. Who knows? Next thing, I'm probably gonna have whiskers on the top of my head.
Yeah, little head. I can do that. I like that. Yeah. Hey, it's cute.
It's cute. So Zoom backgrounds, I just have to have something about Zoom backgrounds. They're kind of hilarious. When you go into those studio effects or Zoom backgrounds, you can just if I wanted to switch, or just if I decided to grow a mustache or a beard, if I wanted to have different eyebrows or different lip gloss on, I could do that. So, you never know with us.
You never know. I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to do it.
There he is. Oh, Bin Laden.
I can always do a background, we can always do that. There you go.
I love him. When did you take that picture, Jess?
I took that picture when we were taping, and it hasn't come out yet, but when we were taping one of our episodes and he came out and we introduced him live. But that's Bin Laden for anybody that gets to see it, because you're probably going to see him that episode. But that's Mr. Bin Laden.
He does exist. Bin Laden does exist. Yes. Again, if anybody's looking to sponsor a terrorist cat, Trisha at petsorfamily.net. I will represent him as an agent. We'll take cat food. Smalls, we're giving you a call out right now. Smalls, we love you. Smalls, we love you. Feel free to come on here, and we want to make sure we can get some little free stuff for Bin Laden there. And Harry.
Yeah, we don't talk about Harry because he's the good cat. So maybe
it's like that with children though. Whenever you're a good child, that you always feel that you're misrepresented or misunderstood, or you don't get any pay. Your mom or dad never pays attention to you because you're good. I was always the bad child, so I got a lot of attention paid to me.
I wasn't, but it's so funny though. I wasn't really the bad child. I was grounded a lot. I mean, seriously, I was grounded. But my little brother was the one that got beat. I don't know. I didn't get it. But my little brother could buffalo my parents. I mean, I have to tell you this one story because it cracks me up still to this day. So my mother and her people, God love Maine. I really do like the state, and I love my mother's people. But my mother is so naive. I mean, I love my mother to death, I promise you, but my mother is so naive. I'm in my 20s and I come up, and I was working for the airlines then, and my brother was in high school, and I want to say he was a junior or a senior in high school. And I come up and I was talking to my mom, and my mom was like, she's like, hey, Jesse, I need you to go. That's what my family calls me, Jesse. My mom's like, hey, Jesse, I need you to go to Mexico and get me some more Kahlua, because I used to fly over to Mexico and get her Kahlua because it's great. And I was like, Mom, I just went a month ago. I'm like, what did you turn into a lush? You know what I mean? I was like, you can't drink it that fast. She's like, no, our alcohol is starting to evaporate. And we lived in Colorado. And I was like,
no.
I didn't her, and I was like, what do you mean it is evaporating, Mom? And she's like, look, it's evaporating. And she's showing me all the alcohol in her cabinet that is lowering the bottles. And I was like, Mom, Josh is drinking it. She's like, no way. And I'm like, Mom, alcohol doesn't evaporate, not any of it. And she's like, yes, it does. And I'm like, who told you it evaporates? And she's like, Josh. I'm like, of course he did.
Oh my God.
My brother had my mom convinced for years it evaporated.
No. Yeah, so I'm going to tell a story now because now I'm going to tell a story. So Jonathan, my son Jonathan, so we had gone to Machu Picchu. We had gone to Lima, Peru, and they had these lovely things called pisco sours there. So we got the alcohol that represented pisco sour, whatever it is, pisco. I have no idea. And so we got this, and so we decided we're going to have people over, and we were going to make pisco sours. And so we pulled out the pisco, and we were pouring it. And then I'm shaking the glove, whatever I tasted. I'm like, this doesn't. Jonathan had drank all of the alcohol, but he decided to replace it with like colored liqueur and just different colors. So it was all water and it was different colors. So shout out to you, Jonathan, for your ingenuity and your creativity.
Both of them. I mean, seriously, my mother was convinced that alcohol, that you know, I mean, you know, Jonathan at least replaced it. My little brother just had my mother convinced alcohol. Rated, you know?
We had people coming over. We had no alcohol in the house whatsoever. No alcohol in the house whatsoever. Oh my gosh, it was crazy, just crazy. Oh my gosh. So, what do we have coming on today, Jessica?
We have Wayne with Forged in Form coming on today.
And Reed.
Yep,
Yeah.
for Father's Day, and they're doing we're going to run another contest. You know, we ran one for Mother's Day, which that was fun, and we had a lot of people sign up for that, so that was really cool. But we're doing a special one for fathers, and it's a really cool gift. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to say dads get cheated. You know what I mean? But they kind of, you know what I mean?
Do.
Yeah, they kind of do. I hate
the short end of the stick. It's all about the moms, not about the dads.
Yeah, but it's a pocket knife, which I thought was kind of cool with one of their pet, which is their kids. You know what I mean? With their four-legged kids. Let's go that route. Their four-legged nose or their paw print. And I think it's a really cool thing.
It's so cute. And they're so beautiful and so well made. So yeah, I'm excited. And he's going to be our first male guest on our show because we've had all women. So let's see how this one fares.
Yeah, I'm excited. So let's go get him. We'll go.
Let's go get him. Hello, Wayne from Forged in Form. How are you?
I am doing terrific, and it's a beautiful day for Friday, and I'm looking forward to our conversation.
And Wayne, so you just got back from a pretty big trip. Is that correct? You were over in Italy, Spain. Tell us where you were, and tell us about the pets and the people that you saw over there.
So yes, we just got back from 10 days in Spain, sometime in the south, sometime in the north, and sometime in kind of the eastern part of the country. I love the country, love the people, love the cuisine. It was interesting that you see all these miles and miles of olive trees that are planted, and some of them hundreds of years old, and miles and miles of grapes being planted. But they have a huge drought going on over there, which I wasn't as cognizant of until I started hearing stories about, you know, that the amount of olive oil they're expecting this year is about half of the tonnage that it would have been in a normal year. So it kind of calibrated us to kind of making sure we were being sensitive to being a consumer in that country. Interestingly, the pets we noticed over there, they seem to have very much an active lifestyle with their pets. And what was great about that is you saw a lot of people just running with their dogs or actually having a cat in a carriage or whatever it might be. Their dogs were typically smaller. You know, we're used to having our big dogs in the States, I think, as we tend to do a lot of things bigger, it seems like. But they had a lot of just active animals, a lot of smaller breeds, interesting breeds I wasn't real familiar, and then some that were very familiar.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting. I didn't know they were in a drought either. Okay, got it. So, Wayne, what was really the best thing about the trip that you saw? What really was the best thing?
Is there a best thing? I don't know if that's always fair. Where we stayed out in the north of the country was my wife was a friend of a person that came over and taught from Spain for 5 years in our district here, and said, if you ever come back to Spain, you have to visit us. Oh, and by the way, my boyfriend's family has a hotel that we'd love you to stay in. And you kind of think about what you have in your mind of a family hotel and what it's going to be. And, you know, you don't want to get too much, you know, build up in your brain around it. But we got to this place, and it was a 9-room hotel that was built on the foundation of 11th century building in a town that had 30 permanent residents. And that has been a 20-year passion project for this family. And that was one of the coolest things, is being in that area, overlooking a valley of switchbacks even to get up to the place.
Oh my gosh.
That was a special spot. That was a special spot.
30,
That sounds
30 people. Can you imagine how small that is? I think, you know what I mean? I think my block has more than 30 people.
Yeah. Well, and in their high season, I mean, these are a lot of these old buildings that are on the side of a mountain, but their high season is 100. And I went, wow, that's, must make the roads really busy.
Yeah. Boy, can you imagine 30 people? I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
definitely
I remember.
everybody in town, and you definitely know everybody's business. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, that's who's coming up the hill, and that's who's going the hill, and whether they stayed out late or not, that kind of thing.
Guarantee you there's no cheating going on in that town.
No. Or it's consensual all around. Right?
I'm so sorry.
Yep.
You went there.
I remember being in Lima, Peru, and all the switchbacks going back and forth, but going through up to Machu Picchu. And I tell you, I'm like, couldn't we just go up the mountain? What is going, why it wouldn't just be much faster for us just go straight than going in and around and around. So, oh my gosh. Wayne, we are so excited to have you. So we had Jennifer Myers on, who Jennifer very well.
Yeah, of
she
course,
was on with us for Mother's Day. I have to say, congratulations to you. You are our very first male man, male pet parent on this show, and we're through the roof to have you with us right now. And so you have something really cool that you just introduced called Forged and Formed. It's been out for about a month now. I think it's been a soft launch about a month ago. But tell us about this. This has really been a passion project. Oh, it's a work of art. Talk to us about that.
So Forged and Formed, it really stems from a 4-decade tradition that we have as a retail and custom jewelry store. Previous efforts for that company, we just divested of back in 2022, which made a similar type of product for a very different industry segment. But during the pandemic, and we started getting a lot of requests for products that would be pet related. And different types of things where people were spending a lot more time with their pets, and the relationship was even going beyond what normal relationship with our loving animals are in our lives, right? So Forged and Formed came out of that, and we basically craft custom imprinted keepsakes and jewelry and gifts for the special pets, people, and events in our lives. So those things that we want to carry with us when we're not with them, or we just want to remember in a different and fresher way. And that's basically what Forged and Formed is.
What made you want to go into this? What was the driver? What was the passion behind this?
I think it was the stories and the requests we were getting from people. During the pandemic, with our other company, we were having to diversify from kind of a B2B model to a B2C model.
Yeah.
And we were starting to hear these stories about this people and their pets. They were just sharing. It's like, oh, wouldn't it be cool to have a nose print on this piece, or a paw print, or whatever it might be. And so we started thinking about it during that period of time. And what really kind of was the pivot point was when people were starting to go back to the workplace, the more traditional workplace. I think it's evolved. It never be quite the same again. All of a sudden, these people they had been in a relationship with, these pets and people as well, weren't part of their day-to-day. They weren't part of what was with them while they were doing Zoom calls and answering emails. So we crafted this design and designed these products so they can actually take their pet with them wherever they are, and have that kind of tactile relationship. You can feel the nose print, you can feel a paw print, you can feel a fingerprint, you can feel those kinds of things. And that really was the genesis of this. It's hard when you go into a very noisy market space. People have lots of cheap things they can buy for their pets at the pet store or online that are made out of materials that, aren't that real important. We were trying to elevate that a little bit, still make it accessible, but we do our products primarily in stainless steel, sterling silver, and 14 karat gold. So the things that are very wearable and that you don't mind if they get scratched up as much, but other things that are more precious. And that's who we are. At our core, we're artisans and jewelers. We're not just people that play with lasers.
Yeah. I think so many times we do purchase items and we expect them, and all of a sudden within 2 months they're actually gone. And I've seen they're just absolutely beautiful. Talk to me about the stories that you got. What was like a story that really stood out to you from somebody who reached out?
So I'll give you a people story and I'll give you a pet story. So one was, we had a story where we had a customer who had just gotten back from deployment, and they were just getting their lives back together again. And they adopted this really wonderful animal and fell in love with it, like we all do, right? And unfortunately, that animal died. And so they're like, I don't know what to do. Like, I'm feeling sad, and can you guys do anything? And why? And they were like, I didn't take a print, I didn't take a picture. And I said, don't you have anything in your records that would have something? And they were able to find a photograph that was just kind of in the background, and we were able to take that, blow it up, and make a nose print, jewelry, a piece out of it. And we've had some people stories too, where, again, typically what triggers me is when you hear stories of hardship and loss, and you figure out how can you help people navigate that and give them a soft place to fall. And sometimes jewelry is part of that. I mean, yes, it's an adornment. It's all these things that we've come over the generations and centuries to know as what we want to wear to look, to have it be an attractive piece on us, or attractive wearable. But I think with some of these people pieces, it's like, okay, we can do that for people that are, wanting to celebrate, relationship with their pets. And we can keep that. Why are we always waiting to do those things? Why aren't we doing it every day? Celebrating those that are important to us, whether it be a pet or a person in our lives. And you have just so much of your life, you can carry that with you as a live thing, as a live memorial almost.
Agreed. We just had a conversation not too long ago with a beautiful pet photographer, and we were talking about the same thing, that often you have these pictures, and she goes in and she actually takes pictures of animals who are awaiting adoption, but also from a pet parent side, that we don't think about the pictures that we take and how beautiful it is during their lifetime to have those pictures taken and celebrate. And that's it, it's celebration of life. And I think after they're gone, it's like, oh my gosh, why, what, where, and then not having that. And so it's those moments of celebration of life, because we're here right now. I mean, it's here, right? Every day is a gift. And we were also talking about, hey, I woke up today, I found, here I am, I found the ceiling, not the floor. I'm good on that.
So we're good, right? And I think part of that is, that's why our focus is what we call Live Nation. And I don't want to get caught into a trademark dispute around that, but there's so much of these things of our life that we can just celebrate day to day. Don't wait. Like, there's 99.99999% of things that we can celebrate while we're moving around, and we can bring those things with us. We don't have to worry about that last little bit. Let's focus on the living things right now that are in our lives.
I love that.
I like the fact that you brought up that you took a picture of an animal that was like way back here, and you blew it up and you still could do it. You know what I mean? That it didn't even have to be like right here. You figured out how to make it work, because half of us can't take pictures of our own animals. You know what I mean? I mean, I'll be honest. So I think that's great. And I know that Jennifer asked us for our animals, and we sent in our. And I told her, I have a Shih Tzu, but my little guy is all black. So, I mean, you can't even tell where his nose is or his eyeballs ever, because he's completely black. And you guys even could figure out my little guy. And I was like, dang, I was because
it's important. It is important for us. And part of the process is we'd like to get the best image possible to start working with. So part of what we realized, we did one test, and it was like, okay, let's do this really cool, cute ad and have people want to order a product for their pet, right? And we saw this great interest. We have people coming to our site and wanting to experience, and all of a sudden we're going, why aren't they ordering? Like, what's happening? And we realized that part of the requirement in that process was that they had to upload a print of their animal right then. So you're sitting there working, you think it's a cool idea, and your dog's running around the backyard, your cat's in the litter box. It's like, that's not the best time to capture a picture. So we have a process now where we will actually, you can upload it at that time, great, and we'll tell you whether it's good or not, or we'll see whether we can do a lot more manipulating. Our software is really sophisticated, and our lasers are amazing. But the other part is, we can also allow you to finish the order, and then you upload when it's more convenient for you to do that. So you can upload it when you're ready, when your dog's snoozing, or whether your cat's curled up. And then we're also playing around with them. We don't have it on the site yet, but I'm sure Jennifer showed it to you. We focused a lot on prints, like noses and paws and things like that. But we also are able to now, what we call it's an annealing process. So it's a chemical reaction with the metal, especially stainless, that it allows us to create an image on top of the surface of the metal. And that's where you see we can actually take photographs and put whole photographs rather than just a representative part of that photograph onto a piece of jewelry.
It's so cool.
That is amazing. And isn't it correct? Every nose is unique. Every dog's nose is unique in and of itself.
Yes.
There's no nose like there's no nose like another nose.
Yeah.
I can't say that.
No knows
No,
what the other, anyone else knows, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. They are as unique as fingerprints, and and I just like the personalities of our pets are unique as anything else. But yeah, noses are kind of cool, and be able to capture the nuances. And sometimes they're imperfect. I know I had some old dogs that their noses were cracked through age and just dryness. They didn't have pretty noses, but they had character to them. And it's just like us as people, right? Sometimes we have character in ourselves that, sometimes we wish it was there, sometimes we wish it wasn't. But it's important. That's a characteristic of our pets that is kind of special to be able to capture.
That's amazing. Wayne, so how many, we're talking about animals here and pets. How many pets do you have?
Right now, we're at the lowest point I can think of in the last 40 years. So we have one rescue dog that we rescued during the pandemic, and that was after kind of our last two family dogs had passed. And it was time for us to kind of start fresh and maybe have a little smaller model. We always had basically iterations of labs, which I think almost every rescue animal is. And we found one that was more like a Beagle Jack Russell mix, so a smaller frame. So Watson is who is part of our lives now, and he was a rescue. As at one point in our lives, we had two of almost everything. We would have two Shropshire sheep. We would have two pot-bellied pigs. We'd have two Nubian goats. We'd have two African pygmy goats. We'd have two dogs. We'd have a couple cats wandering around. We'd have goldfish. We'd have a bird of some sort, So and the thing is, my worst part is, and my wife is really the person that just loves all animals. And I'm always the person that, well, do we really need that now? And I always lose that argument. But we would go to the McHenry County Fair, and we'd see all these cool animals. And most people are saying, "Oh, I'm going to get that for breeding stock, or like I'm going to break that down. I'm going to eat it." And we're like, "Can we buy two of those for our little farmette?" It's like it's a very different thing. But we're down to just watching now, which gives us more flexibility when we travel.
Absolutely. The Noah's Ark came into my head by two, and you were leading.
Oh my gosh! Yes. That's why we were on 5 acres. It was easy to do it at that point.
I don't know. You don't hear people saying that I got to pygmy goats and pigs.
No, we were out in the country. The kids loved it. They were raised having that stuff around them, and they got to see what real nature was, kind of in our minds, different than kind of where we came from on the East Coast.
So where did the name Watson come from? Who named him Watson, or was that his given name when he came to you?
No, his given name was Amos when we adopted him, and we didn't think that was a good name. I have a thing. I love guitarists, and I played guitar for a lot of years as well. So we always had we had Buffett for Jimmy Buffett, not Warren Buffett. We had Django for Django Reinhardt, the jazz musician. So this was Watson for Doc Watson, who was a famous flat picking guitarist who was blind, and was just one of the most amazing musicians. So that's where the name came from. We kind of narrow it down to musicians and guitarists, and we kind of see where that takes us.
That's very cool.
I actually have heard of him. That's kind of weird. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's my dad. Leroy. It's a Leroy thing. So that's my father. You know what I mean? So
there you go. Okay.
Yeah. My dad.
Taking you off track here. What's your favorite guitar, Wayne? Because I just bought a Martindale Sunburst for.
Oh, nice.
My love. Yep.
So my favorite, what I've kind of put the last 20 some odd years on, actually 30 years, I got it for my first Father's Day. And my son's 31 now, so 32, one of those numbers. And it's a Guild D50. So it's a dreadnought style with a built-in pickup. And I have a lot of rust on my hands nowadays. I used to play every week and used to do a lot more of it. I have to get back into it again, but that's probably my favorite just because guitars have this character of sound, especially when they're acoustics, that just becomes better with age as the wood swells and gets its own character. So.
I love that. Well, you just mentioned Father's Day. So
yes.
we are we are running a really cool little thing here where people can win something from Forged in What Form. And it's got to be a dad, or it can be a stepdad, it can be a dog dad, it can be a
Yeah.
dog dad, pet sitter. So that,
You know what I mean? It could be a cat dad. I know a lot of
oh,
cats.
I know Jessica's cats, I'm dogs. Although I feel like she's got a cat named Bin Laden. So if that'll say anything about Jessica.
Our last cat was Zelda, which was named after the Legend of Zelda, and she made it to 18 years old. So
Oh, yeah. Well,
yeah,
I think Benny's going to do the world record. I think he's going to try to be in the Guinness book. You know what I mean?
there you
Seriously.
go.
Yeah, he's only 4, but he's just, he's
That's that attitude. I'm going to live a long time.
the terrorist. I mean, he just lives up to it from day one. He's lived up to this name. So yeah, he's my little terrorist.
Love it. Love it.
So we're running a contest with you for the American Association of Pet Parents and also for Pets or Family. And so we're going to have a really cool raffle. They can visit our websites and see that. And then also they can go to your website too at Forged in Form. So we love that. And so we want to thank you for being with us, Wayne. So a couple questions for you. First of all, how do you make your pets feel like family?
Oh, I think presence is important for our pets. Is that you invite them into your day to day and into when you're at home, and you try to incorporate them to the point where they just feel like part of the furniture around you, right? So not exclude them from being near you or pushing them away or just make them stay outside all the time. So that is part of it. I think animals are like humans. Their relationships are based on trust. And very often when you've adopted a dog, their stories are never easy, right? No one's giving up wonderful dogs or trying to take them from a no-kill shelter and bring them to a kill shelter to a no-kill shelter without some baggage with it, just like people, right?
Right.
So I think part of it is our animals need to know to trust us, that we're going to provide for them, we're going to care for them, and consistently be there for them. And don't abuse them. Don't strike out against them, even in frustrating times when they're stealing your sandwich off the table. So I think that's part of it, is that building that trust with your pets, I think, is important. And that's just a relationship with anything, right?
I love that. I love that. How can we find you, Wayne? How, if people want to get in touch with you, if they want to visit your website, how can we get in touch with you?
So you can go to forgedform.com, FORGED, FORMED.com. If you want to put the and in the middle, which I've told for radio and stuff, it's much better. You can do that. It'll take you to the same spot. We had some really cool success in our early stages here. So we have some products we're out of, because we prefabricate and then we customize it for people. But we have about another 40 or 50 that'll be coming live soon. We were trying to launch conservatively, but we have some really fun products. We're going to have a classic line of products. We're going to have a signature series of products involving nature and other things. So we're just beginning, but that's where you start your relationship with us. And if anybody ever wants to reach me, they can find me through Wayne at forgedform.com.
I love that. And first of all, I love your website. And I said this with Jennifer, who do you love? That tagline is like, I love that, just because it is celebration and it makes you feel that I have a relationship with you and I feel welcome. And it's just, you guys did such a beautiful job on that. So hats off and paws up for congratulations on you guys.
Awesome. Yeah, we love it, and we have more ahead. So, and again, part of the things we're going to do is build relationships with like you all and be able to give back as part of our process. That's very, very important to us, is to help other organizations that are like-minded by sharing our resources. So we will continue to do that as well.
It was our honor to have you, Wayne. We so enjoyed your company today, and we want to have you back because, again, you as a pet parent are just a beautiful example. And so thank you for, you could spend your time with a lot of people. Thanks for spending it with us.
It was great. Thanks for having me.
Love him. Yeah. I say that about all guests. I was going, I love them. But I mean, he's such a cool guy. I mean, from just his travels, his story, and every, the 2x2,
Noah's Ark. I mean, not many people go, hey, I had pygmy goats and potbelly pigs and he just was listing off a bunch of stuff there.
Well, I think, what the heck? And then I think like I said, for his kids to grow up, how much fun was that? You're living on this big farm and, and then also, oh no, you're not going to sell that to eat it. We're going to take that and we're going to put that on our farm.
Yeah, I totally, It was cute. It cracked me up, And his wife was like, nope, we're having a farm. Okay.
You know what? Women are always right, and you should agree with them. You just should. It's better. I mean, better for a marriage, obviously, if you do agree with the wife. Of course, it's probably why I'm not married anymore, by the way. But that's
Happy wife, happy life. That they say that all the time. I mean, it's not. There's nothing truer.
who knew? Who knew? I have to tell a story though. So and when he mentioned about dogs stealing food, I think that I told this story before, but my Louis, one of my first dogs, and he's the one that I really lost weight with, and was the example for Canine Fit Club. Gabrielle, my daughter, she was in her little, I think she must have been maybe a year old, not 9 months to a year old. She was in her high chair, and Louis would watch her eat. And she would, you cut off those little hot dogs or whatever, and she'd hold them in her hand and she'd swing them around, Well, Louis, who was a Basset Hound, I don't know what happened. I don't know what kind of energizer he had inside his system that morning, but whatever. He saw Gabrielle with her little, like little hot dog in her hand, little part of it. He jumped up, basically went like a flying basset. His ears were flying, shooting it from her hand. Shooting it out of her hand. Just tears were streaming down her face. Louis went flying around the corner. I mean, he was the fastest Basset Hound I've ever seen. He was like a flying basset. But he used to steal food all the time. And poor Gabrielle, that's, and he was just, he would steal her, just how that Basset Hound made it from the floor to the high chair and just like flew across it. I could not believe it. Anyway, I just remind, when he said that, I remember just all of a sudden the picture of Louis coming into my head and stealing the hot dog from poor Gabrielle's little hand, little pudgy little fingers.
I grew up with old Englishes. So, the big old Englishes, and we had all of them had an addiction. Each one had their own addiction. Tanya's addiction was ice cubes, and popcorn and strawberries. Those were her three.
What a combo.
Right. But she would go out in the garden. You know what I mean? I got her for my 16th birthday. So she was my girl. And I liked all three. Trust me, I still like all three. They're my three addictions too. It's probably where she got it from. But she would go out in the garden and she would pick strawberries. So she would actually pull the plant up and she would get the strawberry and she just twist her head just right without ripping the strawberry plant out, but she'd pull the strawberry off the plant. And I was just like, and she'd come in, you'd always know because her beard would just be red. And I'd just be like, did you go picking? And she learned to do it with raspberries too. I just was like, yeah, she would do that. And she was stubborn. I was the only dog I've ever had that failed obedience class 3 times. And they just told us not to come back with her because she didn't care. Yeah, 3 times. Three times she didn't care. She was just like, it's my way or the highway. She was definitely
she had her own agenda. Jessica had her own agenda. She's stubborn.
I
wonder what reminds you of.
Like, I don't know. My mom might say me. Yeah. Well, she was my dog. Let's just go that route, and your dog mimics you. Yeah. All I'm gonna say. But yeah, I lost obedience with all my other dogs. That's all I have to say.
Gosh, that's crazy. Well, I'm excited for this. I am excited. This contest is going to be super cool. Forged and Formed has been such an amazing partner of ours. They really have. They've got beautiful jewelry. I mean, you can find them at Forged Formed, FORGED, Formed, FORMED.com. And their pieces are beautiful. The leather, just everything it's absolutely stunning, beautiful, and paw print, their paw. And then they even have them for children as well. And they've just done a beautiful job. And, pieces are absolutely just fabulous. And just they're just their team of, the people I know are Trish and Wayne and Jennifer, but they're a fabulous just a company.
Like we said on there, Teddy, as I always talk, maybe I'll get a picture of Teddy so I can put him on the background, but Teddy's all black. I mean, he is really hard to photograph because he's just jet black. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So finding his nose is hard sometimes, but they were even able to get Teddy's nose, and then his nose is my favorite thing anyway on him. But yeah, I mean, I get it. So they're amazing. So
and they're artisans. They're not just and I love that they're artisans. It's very, like, oh, you're an artisan. But yeah, so guys, head on over to forgedformed.com and look at that. I mean, just some beautiful, beautiful pieces there, and fits any budget as well. Jessica, we've got who's coming up here soon?
Let me get my calendar, because I have to write everything down, because I
know you do.
I have a light bulb, I think, going out because something's flickering over here.
I thought it was a halo over your head, just for your angelic self, as usual.
It's probably Tanya. We're coming down to haunt me one more last time, talking bad about her. I wasn't talking bad about you, sister. I loved you. We have Caitlin Brown, you know what I mean? And she is a pet influencer. And she's on Pinterest, and she's got a few animals herself. So I can't wait to talk with her. So she'll be on next week.
She's got a horse. She's got a horse, I think. Yeah. We don't talk, and and how she got into that too. So excited to talk to her. Guys, thank you for joining us. We have fun, as you can tell. We are hopefully getting better episode by episode, that you can find out. If you guys want to hear about anything, you want to talk to us, email us at Trisha or Jessica at petsofamily.net. We're hearing from you now. We love the feedback. We appreciate you guys so much. If you have any topics, or if you're as a pet parent, you want to be on the air with us, email us, let us know your story. We're happy to get you on. And again, we have fun with our job. I don't even call it a job. This is just fun. We love what we do, and we do what we love. And I say that over. We're very blessed to be doing this. And thank you all for joining us on this journey.
Yep. And I want to give a shout out to my NAPS family. I did find out that a lot of them are listening in. And for those that don't know what NAPS is, that's the National Association of Professional Pet Sitters. And I'm on the board. So, and I love them. And that's, that's been a strong and I've been on the board forever. I eventually will get to come off, but right now I'm still on the board. But I was talking to our director, I was talking to Kathy. Whatever, I forgot. I'm messing this up really bad for her, and she's going to kick me in the head. You know what I mean? But I was talking to Kathy. She's our director, and she's like, I've been watching your videos, and I was like, seriously? And she's like, yeah, I watch it every week. I was like, oh, because I haven't told everybody, and she's the word now, and so I have to give a shout out to my NAPS family, and I probably would give them a couple more shout outs because I love them.
And I think we're going to try to get them on the air with us too, because we want to talk about pet sitting, standards of excellence, and credentialing and things like that, and dog walking, especially with the summer months coming up here, and going into those times and how important that is. So I'm excited to talk to them. Hi, Kathy from NAPS. I love you too.
So hi, Kathy. I love you still. So all right, and so as we always end it, how do you make your pets feel like family? Have a good one, everybody. Bye. We hope you enjoyed this new episode. And if you did, please leave us a review on Spotify or wherever you're listening to us today. If you want to reach out to us, feel free to find us on petsourfamily.net or any of our social channels, Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn. And we want to remind you, pets are family. Have a good one. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye, guys.